citizens. With the big telephone company for caller ID, call blocking, call forwarding, call waiting, and three-way calling, you can end up paying almost $50 a month for all that. But with Rev Voice, you get all those features for free.
Hundreds march over the Paradise Island Bridge to take a stand over beach access. The minister responds. This is some voiced outrage over police actions during yesterday's protests. Plus, still no budget set for the upcoming Junkanoo Carnival. We've got those stories and a lot more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and MV12 starts right now. Coming news tonight, scores turned out in support of Cabbage Beach vendors this morning for day 2 of their protests to have a fence blocking access to Cabbage Beach removed. After a swell of support, protesters ultimately tore the fence down. Giorgio Bain reports.
Cabbage Beach vendors are singing a brand new tune here today as the fence that was erected that caused the protest yesterday has been removed. Vendors say it's their strength in numbers that caused the pleasant result. An early morning press release was sent out stating that as a direct request from Prime Minister Perry Christie, Access Industries has agreed to permit the beach path to remain open for a period of time to allow the Prime Minister to work personally on finding an alternative solution for those beach vendors. However, that statement did not stop the protest march, which took up one lane of traffic from the foot of the bridge to the access path fence. Once they had arrived to the fence, the supporters removed it, reopening the path to the beach. Leaders of both major opposition parties were out to the march this morning to show their support and share their views.
This is about the people. Amen. People's time. And we want our beach back. People must understand, and the people have understood today, that once we stand together, we will not allow Perry Christie and his government to walk over us again, nor will he make promises that he won't commit to. Once promises are made, they will be stuck to.
The bottom line is this is not right for the Bahamian people. Thank you. It's not right for our country, and it's a bad impression internationally for what has been done. I blame the PLP government for not looking out for the interests of the people.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. The lead in Bahamians. Yes. This is an example of what the PLP. This is an example of believing in Bahamians. Yes, sir. This can never ever happen under a government that wants to do good for the Bahamian people of the country.
Jarrell Sanders, who protested yesterday and was subsequently arrested for disorderly behavior and obstructing public access, was out to the protest this morning and broke down exactly what happened.
We started from 7 a.m., but I arrived about 7:30, 7:25, around there, and we marched from the foot of the bridge back to the beach, where we met the gate cut open. But what we did was take it down because we feel no need for that to be up blocking the way where we have to go up and put our stuff on the beach.
John Pinder, president of the Bahamas Public Services Union, was out to support the vendors and said he is proud of the Bahamian people and what was accomplished today.
But I think this is a clear demonstration of when Bahamians unite together and show that they are serious about their livelihood. These kind of things can happen. It's unfortunate it had to reach to this situation, whereas the government, knowing full well that our laws allow for Bahamians to have access to the beach, the government knows full well that those persons make a living by going out to the beach to sell their goods, okay? And this whole informal sector in the Bahamas needs to be regularized.
John Bostwick, who formerly represented the Cabbage Beach vendors, maintains that the pathway to the beach belongs to the public and should have never been sold.
This particular beach access that ran next to what was the Sheraton Grand, now the Riu Hotel, across the property which has now been acquired by Access, is a public right of way. It cannot be sold and transferred by anybody, public or private. So when you hear this talk about somebody has bought the public right, bought it from who? I didn't sell it. You didn't sell it. The Bahamian people didn't sell it. Nobody has shown a conveyance executed by the government of the Bahamas conveying this public right of way.
Vendors are pleased that the fence was removed but question for how long, but they are happy to be able to return to work for the time being. Reporting for NB12, I'm Georgia Bain.
In a statement released this afternoon, Access Industries said they will allow access for another 30 days. Well, Tourism Minister Obi Wilchcombe addressing the matter and calls for his resignation over it. Kyle Joaquin has that angle.
Look at this document signed here, agreed to by the Minister of Tourism to allow these people to do that, to Bahamians, okay? And this shouldn't even be a legal document. This is not on no government letterhead. This is done by a private law firm, okay? Not the Attorney General's office. And this is binding on whoever purchased that property. This is wrong for the Minister of Tourism to sell Bahamians out like this. And Obi Wilchcombe needs to resign.
And after that call from NCTU President John Pinder for Tourism Minister Obi Wilchcombe to resign, we went to the minister to see what he thought of the whole thing.
No, but please, you're talking about this letter here? Yeah. This letter here speaks to a specific thing. If you really want me to read it, if you really want to read it or understand, the gist of the letter is we're asking, for instance, it says, nevertheless, both you and the Minister of Transport express concern for the vendor's situation and asked if we could possibly provide additional time for you to explore a solution. That's what we're seeking to do, because they were seeking to close it from last year, and so they said we'll give you another 60 days, and we agreed to giving us another 60 days to work toward the conclusion.
Now, all of this started yesterday when fencing was placed across that entry point yesterday, but as you can see, that fencing is now gone, but police is still stationed in this area. We spoke with Tourism Minister Obi Wilchcombe today. He said, sadly, there are some within the opposition who are using this opportunity to gain some political mileage.
Wilchcombe said he saw the flyer of opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis calling for supporters to meet at the foot of Sir Sidney Poitier's bridge to protest with Cabbage Beach vendors, but he said it appears Minnis is using it as opportunity for political gain and is causing the real issue to be confused.
But it was for the vendors to ensure that the vendors, and what's amazing about this, we're the ones fighting for it and they're the ones misrepresenting who was fighting for something, which they could just simply ask, but they won't ask because I suppose it's not politically expedient to do so.
Wilchcombe said he actually stayed up past midnight working with Cabbage Beach vendors on the agreement to give the matter another 60 days to be concluded. The government's notice came out around 2 a.m. this morning. He said he also heard from hotel operators who were concerned about the incident on the bridge and what was taking place at Cabbage Beach and how it would affect their guests. In seeing videos of people being arrested and police handling some roughly, Wilchcombe said, "You're not going to find a solution fighting in the streets." He added that vendors could also take a look at their conduct on the beaches. But he said all the F&M has done by getting involved is paint the picture as though Bahamians in general can't access Cabbage Beach, when in actuality the issue speaks to vendors.
Because it's the vendors, it's not Bahamians going. So I think that we're not paying attention to this, and I think we have to. Bahamians and visitors are not being stopped from going to the beach. There's access to the beach. The problem is the vendors having access to the beach with their where. How do you get it on the beach if you don't have access to that path? And so we wanted to make sure that the path remained open for the vendors to have access. Brookfield is claiming that Access wants to move and cause for the development of their property. When I spoke with the owner of Access last evening, his concern was, well, a part of the deal was that Brookfield would cause for an alternative means of entry for the vendors.
According to Wilchcombe, the developments that transpired yesterday and this morning nearly happened in December.
That's December when we did that, because they were going to shut down in December. They were going to shut down in August, and they were going to shut down in December. And we said, no, you can't do that, particularly it's Christmas time. And we asked them, and that's why we got to the 60 days. And that was to ensure that we could work out, because they're saying, and in the letter from John Stone, the attorney, they're saying that we, Access, have done what we were supposed to do. Brookfield was supposed to provide the alternative path, but Brookfield did not provide the alternative path. We've done what we're supposed to do. We want to proceed because we want to cause for the expansion of the hotel and for some work to be done.
When we spoke with the tourism minister this morning, he said Cabinet would discuss the way forward on the issue in today's meeting. Reporting for NB12. I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Videos of police kicking, slapping, shoving, dragging, and choking protesters yesterday quickly made their way around social media, with many expressing shock at what some are calling police brutality. Our Simone Davis took to the streets to get some reaction. Here's her report.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
That's just one of the several videos showing how police officers handle the protesters by dragging, slapping, kicking, and choking them. Many people we showed the videos to today describe the police actions as brutal and unjustifiable.
They handled it wrong. They were supposed to have it more organized, or they should have gone into the crowd and try to get it organized instead of kicking the gentleman I saw on the ground. The officer was kicking him.
And would you consider that to be a form of police brutality?
It is police brutality.
I really feel bad because that don't make no sense in the Bahamas. Like, you could do that like us, but you do it to the criminals. That's what you talk. Because I feel there ain't no criminals. Just like Bahamian people. This is our country, but you can't take advantage of us.
However, there were some who sided with the police, stating that they were just doing their jobs. Others said they understand police may have been doing their jobs, but they could have handled the situation in a more humane manner, and how they dealt with protesters was just unnecessary.
I don't think it's right. I think, they should have handled it better than that, everybody has the right to protest what they believe in. And the world saw how they've been treated over by Protestants. I don't think they should be treated like that, because we all, at the end of the day, we are Bahamians. And we should not be treated like this in our own land.
During the protest yesterday, the Cabbage Beach vendors said if the most convenient point of access to their livelihood is blocked, then they would block the most convenient path of access for the country's livelihood. Several straw market vendors watched the videos in awe as they reflected on their own protest for a similar reason just a few weeks ago. Rebecca Small, who is a third-generation straw vendor, said the situation hit close to home for her because while the alleged police brutality is one issue, the major concern is the livelihood of those vendors. She said she believes they were well within their rights to protest, and officers should have understood that they were not just fighting for a spot on the beach, but they were fighting to survive.
I am right now in disbelief. I am outraged. This is unbelievable, unthinkable in your own country. I am highly disappointed with the police force. They acted in a lawless manner. And I put myself in those people's shoes because those are the people living. That's their livelihood. That's how we feed our family from selling to the tourist. And you're going to tell me we are barred from our place of work, and so we're going to protest. And when you protest, that's how the police conduct themselves. So when the police do foolishness like that, then what they left for the citizens of the Bahamas to do?
Another vendor said the way Bahamians are treated in their own country when they're trying to make a living is just unfair.
I feel as if the people are hurting for real, and nobody is paying attention to the hurt of the people. And what we saw on that video is a result of hurting people, and they're desperate and they're willing to go to any extent for help, and they're crying for help, but it seems as if there's no help for them and they need help.
Other residents took to Facebook to express their concerns, as some applauded the protesters for taking a stand and protesting, and others expressing disappointment in the police. Small also cried shame on those officers and said she hopes that they are dealt with immediately.
I hope Mr. Greenslade, Commissioner of Police, I hope he deal with them accordingly, because there's no justification for that. That is highly ridiculous. I cannot even believe police conduct themselves in that manner for law-abiding citizens. And all they were doing was protesting. If they were being violent, if they were doing things violently, I could understand certain things, certain measures taken. But for that crap, to what I just saw, that is totally ridiculous. And I hope those police who punch, kick, and put their foot in those people's face, I hope they are dealt with properly by the law.
When contacted for comment, Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson said after viewing the video, which shows police officers kicking and dragging protesters yesterday, the matter is currently under investigation, and he has no further comment as police are looking into the circumstances. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, the ongoing protest over yesterday's beach access closure only speaks to the incompetence of the Christie administration, according to former State Minister of Environment Fenton Nemore. He said government should have never let it get to this point and should just purchase the land in question.
Well, this protest, to me, speaks to the level of incompetence of the current government. I don't think the government should have allowed this to get to this point. The vendors are very frustrated. The government should have recognized the importance of beach access to Bahamians. It is a right, and we have legislation in place to address beach access.
Nemore said historically that location has always been there for Bahamians, and the rights of Bahamians should never be less than the rights of foreigners. He said since it's gotten to this point where the property owners seemingly have an issue with public beach access running through the property, Nemore said government needs to step.
If at the end of the day we have challenges like this, if the government could not have worked out something with the new property owner, I'm of the view that the government should have purchased the land in the interest of the Bahamian public. Historically, we've always had access to that property, and therefore that right of Bahamians should not have been taken away. I think the government should have done more and never allowed this to come to the public and allow the frustration of vendors to get to this point.
Nemore said the former administration made it a point to improve beach access, but never moved to buy this piece of land in question, as at the time it wasn't a problem because the owners were honoring the route as a point of public beach access. He added, if a piece of land is essential for the development of a country, then the government can step in and purchase it, and he believes this piece of land is essential.
Why it is my view that if push comes to shove, we must purchase it. It is essential for the Bahamian public. It is essential for the vendors to have that access. It is also essential for taxi drivers and tour operators and for tourists who wish to access that area, who are coming from other locations, either other hotels or cruise ships. It is essential that that access remain for our tourism product.